home is really one of the best decisions and life changers that I have ever done in my life. And if you're also interested in working from home or being a home-based professional, then this video is for you. If you have been a long-time follower of my channel, thank you so much, you will know that I already work from home. A lot of you have been asking which company I work in, but I actually am a home-based professional. I can work pretty much anywhere. And today is a story time as to how I got to the point of working from home. And let me tell you that story because I know that even though you're here in my channel to learn more how to be in the call center or BPO industry, there is also a way for you to have a career by just working from home and not really going to an actual BPO office. And that's exactly what I am doing now after being a corporate customer service specialist and lead trainer for 7 years. But don't get me wrong, okay? I loved my job as a trainer. I even loved my job when I started the call center industry. I was a retail banker, a telephone banker / customer service specialist. And then I worked to become a peer coach or a subject matter expert. And then eventually I got promoted as a lead process and product trainer. And for those 7 years of working in the corporate world, I learned so much, not just about myself, about the industry, about different types of people, management techniques, the ins and outs of the call center industry. And I am so very grateful for the industry that honed me to be the individual that I am now. And if not for that experience, I also won't be able to start working from home or have the confidence to be a home-based professional. So I'm saying this disclaimer because I want you to know that working in the call center or BPO industry is a great start. It's a great way for you to begin your career if you just know where to go, if you just know where to apply. And sometimes you even don't know where to apply, but eventually it will all fall into place. And I was very lucky because I got into a company that I really liked, but it's just that I felt that it was the end of a chapter of my life. It's been 7 years and I just wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to continue my hobby and turn it into a side business, which brought me to be a work-at-home or home-based professional. And just to give you an idea, I have applied for 2 different jobs while I am working in that previous company that I worked in. The first one is another call center. I applied to be still the same, a trainer, but the location of the call center is in Mactan, which is north of where I live, and I live in the south. So it's very, very far. I already got accepted, but I had to decline it because it is so impossible geographically to be there on time without getting exhausted and without spending so much time on the road. And the second job I applied for was a sales trainer in one of the insurance companies in my hometown, and I already got accepted. I already went all out spending plane tickets just to get to the interviews, the trainer demos, and I already got hired. I was about to sign my contract, my job offer, but at the last minute I had to back out. I felt really, really bad because I somehow caused a disappointment for that person who referred me to the insurance company, but I had to decide and really just get to the bottom of it, and the best decision was to just stay in Cebu and continue my job. And I forgot, I also have another job that I applied for, which is in another call center company. I was supposed to be a trainer as well, or a training development specialist, something like that. So this company called me and asked me to attend the interview. So just because it's the company that called me first, I took it as a great opportunity because they saw my profile on JobStreet and I thought that was a great idea to just attend the interview. But after the initial interview, it became clear that it was not for me. So I also did not pursue that job. So in that 7 years of my life, I was able to look into other different opportunities, but there was only one thing left in my list that I really wanted to do, which is to start working from home, no matter what type of work it would be. Okay, so that was my thinking that time. I would still apply no matter what type of work it would be. There were so many events in my life previously that really led me to work from home. One of them is really the back-to-back training classes. It was becoming so exhausting and I had no substitute. I had to handle different classes every single week, and sometimes even if I haven't finished one class, I had to jump to another class. I was not complaining about my job. I was just complaining with the workload, something that I did not have any control of. And as much as I love doing training jobs, as much as I'd love to do it, it was really starting to tire me. It was really starting to get into my nerves. And even though I did not have my voice, I still had to go to work because I had to, like, no one is going to handle the class. But there came a point wherein I had a class, but I was feeling so sick and I just had to let it all go, and I told my manager I couldn't go to work. I rarely do that because I never really let a class pass even though I was sick. That was like one of the factors that led me to think that maybe this is not good anymore. I really have to end this. And of course, there was also the fact that my son was growing, obviously, and you can't always be with your kids when you're working in the office. But that's a sacrifice that we have to do. I have one kid, he was young that time, and there was one night he asked me why I had to go to work when it was already nighttime. And so I had to explain to him why mom has to go to work. And at least at that point, I thought it was a sacrifice I had to do to secure our future financially. And then I told myself, maybe in the future, I'll get to find a job wherein I don't have to go to the office all the time. And then there was also a time when my brother and my sister visited me here in Cebu, and I had to take a leave for 1 week. And so during that time, I somehow was able to contemplate and thought of the things that I could still have done if I had more time, if I did not spend all those times in the office, if I did not spend all those times waiting on the road because of the terrible traffic and all that. I could have spent so much time with my family. And that also was one epiphany that really hit me. And right after that week, the moment my brother and my sister went home to our hometown, that's when I really told myself, I'm going to resign. I'm going to end this chapter of my life and start something new. So I did. Now, this one thing that really triggered me is none other than the terrible traffic. It might sound simple, but it's really very complicated because I live in the south and I go home, go to work every single day, and it would usually take me about 1 to 2 hours on the road, sometimes 3 to 4 if the traffic is really terrible. And the only way for you to somehow avoid that is to wake up way earlier than usual and to be at work, be in the office way earlier than usual, which would mean that you would lessen the time that you're supposed to be at home, having dinner with your family and having spent your time with your family. So I realized all of that. I was wasting all my time on the road. I did not have a car. I still don't have a car right now. And I thought that maybe having a car would just make it even worse. And so I would always commute, and there would come a point wherein I had to commute in the dead of the night, early morning. So it's really very risky because, as I've mentioned, my schedule is really around the clock and I could never predict that. Although I had the privilege, being a tenured trainer, I had the privilege of choosing my schedule as much as I could. When it comes to client directive, and if they say that your schedule is 1 a.m., I have to be working at 1 a.m. and I have to be early at work. There's this one story wherein my schedule was 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and that's like the worst schedule during the day because obviously that's when everybody goes to work, everybody goes to school. I found myself in the middle of nowhere, although I knew exactly where I was, but I went to different terminals, different destinations, different points in the city just to be able to get a ride home. And then I found myself standing there one time. I think it was about 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. I did not know what to do. Everything was packed. Jeepneys, taxis, everything. I even considered just taking a hitch or something. Everything. And then I just cried because I told myself, I can't go home anymore. I will live in this street. I will live here forever. Like, I won't be able to leave this place at 12 midnight. And mind you, even if it's 12 midnight, but if it's raining, Cebu is still packed as hell. I told myself, if I'm just working from home, I will not have these problems. Okay, this is it. This is not good anymore. I really need to find a way to work from home and be sustainable financially. It was also a very emotional time for me because, of course, I worked there for 7 years. I have been very close to my colleagues and even to my previous trainees. It was really hard to go, especially that I'm very used to long-term jobs or long-term employment. And it was so hard for me to ask my manager and to tell him that I needed to resign. But I told him anyway, obviously because I did not have a choice, more than 30 days before my actual resignation date, because I wanted him to find a sub or a replacement. I thought he would need time to find someone to replace me. So there, I told him and then I submitted my resignation. I did not have anything emotional done at work, and just like that, 7 years, done. Now the next question is, how was I supposed to deal with unemployment when we were living in a single income household that time and I was the only one earning? If you want to know how I dealt with unemployment, in my next video I am going to talk about that. And if you want more videos about how you can get a work from home job, then comment below if you have any more questions about it. If you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure you subscribe by clicking the red subscribe button and like this video if you want. Share it with people you think can benefit and we'll see you from there. See you on my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.